20, 30, 40 years, a lot of our clients have been building a business, and they get to a point where they got to do something with it. We take them at the point when they're ready to really lean in, and then we take 20 years of our experience and we help accelerate that process for them so that they can get a great outcome.
So our feasibility study is a way in which they're able to actually take a look at what the market is offering today and what's some of those options that they like most about the different types of transactions: strategic, financial buyer, employee stock ownership plan, and figure out what is best for them.
Jeff Ward, who is a good friend of mine and a good friend of Keith's, and he was also on my accounting firm's team, and we were sitting across from each other, and I was just getting ready to turn 65 years old. And he said to me, he goes, so what's the succession plan like, Jim? And I said, well, I'm not worried about that right now. He goes, you're 65, you're gonna be 65 here real quick. You gotta decide now what you're gonna be doing in order to plan it out and do it. And so he said, I wanna introduce you to Keith Butcher. He's a good friend of mine, and he owns ButcherJoseph with Joe, and they do ESOPs. And I contacted Keith, and he said, why don't you come down and visit with us? So I went through 2 meetings with them. We sat with the team and we started working on, is this feasible for us? What does it look like? At the end of the day, it was just the perfect storm. I mean, the ESOP journey was so easy and so pleasant, and we got it pulled together. It was a dream, and it came true, and the employees are absolutely elated, and it's doing very, very well.
I kept thinking about a succession plan and what would be a good way for me to move on and continue the legacy of the magazine. I have 53 employees. Over half have been with me for 12 years or more. Many have been with me 20 years. I've owned the company 25, and some of them have been with me almost since the day I bought it. How do you reward those people? How do you make it possible for them to be able to benefit from what they've done over these years? Their energy in building my business gives them that value. I really think that they're the ones who deserve it. And I feel I've been fairly compensated for my efforts. Why shouldn't they be compensated for theirs? So to me, that's the value of the ESOP.
You might come on our website and you might say, hey, I'm interested in doing some kind of feasibility analysis about some kind of transaction, right? And so the next thing is one of our folks is gonna call you and we're gonna talk to you and we're gonna say, hey, what are you interested in? What type of transaction? Where are you at in the life cycle of your business? What is important to you that you're trying to accomplish? Then we're gonna collect data from you so that we can give you information to help educate you to get you to a decision point. And so what you'll see is once you get a feasibility analysis from us, it's gonna hit the things that are most important to you. We put it right at the front of the feasibility analysis. It says, hey, here's kind of a range of what we think reasonable value is for your business.
So I contacted Keith, and Keith said, well, we're not too sure about the magazine business, whether that's really a viable business going forward, but let me take a look at it and think about it. So about 5-6 weeks go by, and he calls me and he says, I'd like to come to Greensboro and tell you what I think. And I said, well, that's great. Tell me what you can get from my business. And he said, well, we've analyzed businesses like yours and we've analyzed the market. And he gave me a number that I said, okay, Keith, come on down and let's talk.
I was never asked by anybody in ButcherJoseph company for either a retainer or a commitment on paper or anything like that. I mean, when we got to a point when I felt comfortable, then we decided to go ahead and let's get it wrapped up and get it going. But it was just a real nice situation where you didn't have to feel like you're going to get somebody's pushing you to get into an ESOP when you didn't even know what it was.
The employee stock ownership plan really helps drive local ownership in the communities in which these companies are actually based and were founded. You look at a company that might be in Moscow, Pennsylvania, and they're based in Moscow, Pennsylvania, and they want to stay in Moscow, Pennsylvania, because that's where all the employees, that's where the founder grew up, and he wants to feel a sense, or she wants to feel a sense of accomplishment, not only for the business that they built, but the legacy of that business is going to have going forward in the future. And so it's a way in which actually you're providing an economic benefit to your employees, but by the same token, you're enjoying the fruits of your labor as it relates to a liquidity event for your own benefit.
It's terribly important that the right people be involved, because it's a people business, and the right people be involved in doing the ESOP.
I think ButcherJoseph, what Joe and I have built here over the last 10 plus years here and prior to that at our time at Morgan Stanley, is a really thoughtful approach to solving problems for clients and putting the highest quality team together. And so you choose ButcherJoseph because of the team ultimately.